Good morning. Thank God for dreams. Um, for those of you that have been listening for a while, you know that from time to time I've talked about having flying dreams, which I've been having off and on my entire life. Well, I had another one this morning. The title for today is Spirit Reminder, You Can Still Fly. And here's my blurb. What a week it's been. If you were to watch the video I made last Saturday, then followed the drama through the week culminating with the last two videos, you'd know what I'm talking about. Yesterday was a day of clarity that came when a friend tagged me on Facebook with a piece entitled An Eagle's View, A Man's Valentine Wish to Change the World. I have a link to that posting. I could not believe the negative reaction of one woman especially. The man who posted it said to her, quote, "Somehow, Your Highness, you read into this male domination, bad behavior, or possibly a lack of soul. I am capable of having blinders, and your reaction, in my opinion, is a continuation of the old tired rivalry of the sexes. My dream, to find reasons to agree, find areas of commonality. Yes, we all choose." End quote. I was shocked by her response as I saw a side of her that acted as a wake-up call. Then, just before my final awakening for today, I had a dream where Spirit reminded me, you can still fly. I actually got out of bed twice after I went to bed last night. Very restless night. Each time I awakened, either the legal issues were on my mind or the relationship issues. One or the other, and neither felt good. And then I dozed off. Probably it wasn't more than just a few minutes. I woke up from the dream right at 3:30, which is normally the time that I get out of bed. But I laid there for a few minutes before I got out of bed just looking at that dream. I mean, here I was approaching a bank on a ridge, and there's a river there, and the bridge had washed out. And a whole bunch of people were also coming up to the bridge, and some were already ahead of me. And I get to the edge there, and all these people, and then I'm reminded, you can still fly. And I took off, much to the amazement of the people standing around me. And their heads were turning as I flew past some of them, as I flew up the river and then over to the other side where I needed to go. And I got there, and there were two women, an older woman and a younger woman. I don't know who they were, but they wanted, how did you get here? The bridge is out. And I said, I remembered I could fly, and I'll teach you. That's when I woke up. That's what I remembered. And that's what I've been meditating on since I got out of bed this morning, since I woke up and got up. Reminds me of the British romantic comedy Lighthouse Hill, where the punchline of the movie, if you will, is love is flying. And it's meant to be something that takes us beyond the mundane. Grounded, yes, but able to move off our groundings and fly. It also reminded me, as I sat in the meditation room, of the lady that said to me, "I can't stay with you. You want to fly, and I'm not ready to fly yet." I had envisioned Valentine's month as a time of reunion and loving. That's not going to happen. Well, unless Spirit has other plans, but it's not going to happen the way that I anticipated. And when I read the thread that from that video, or from that piece, A Nagel's View, A Man's Valentine Wish to Change the World, the title immediately caught my attention, so I knew why my friend tagged me on it. And I thought, wow, yes. And then I read it. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes in different places, because it was about men and women healing each other. But when I reposted the link on my own wall, and I tried to post the whole thing onto my wall, but I couldn't do that. I worked on it for probably a half an hour and couldn't post it so that you could all read the actual thread, which had a multitude of commentaries, all public, all out in the open. But when I posted it on my wall, one lady wrote, "Well, but it works both ways, Ron. This blog seems to be a bit one-sided and beautifully antiquated, don't you think, from a woman's perspective?" And another woman said, "I thought the same, but great for his perspective. Has to be equal." If the battle of the sexes was ever displayed, it was displayed in that thread. I didn't see male domination, bad behavior, or a lack of soul in any of what I read. It was beautiful. A man and a woman, the masculine and feminine, coming together to heal each other from the trauma of human experience, which we've all experienced. No exceptions. At least I don't believe there are. And I still believe in romance. And people said, "Ron," so I've gotten more responses from those last two videos than any videos that I've had in a long time. And when I say more responses, I mean more even private emails. Private emails from friends, some suggesting advice, and others that I've asked them for advice. A couple of people specifically that I've asked for advice. One man that I didn't ask for advice called and said, wanted me to get a program that cost less than $50, so that it's about how men can understand what women mean with what they say, because men interpret what a woman says very differently than the woman actually means it. And this is sort of like a code-breaking program that helps you understand what she's saying. Sort of like dealing with the law. The lawyers and the courts don't really say what they mean. They talk in circles, and it's not easy to understand. But I don't believe that's necessarily true of women, but it's definitely true of the law. And those are two issues that I've been having. But in any case, many people have been saying, "But Ron, you're not ready for a relationship because obviously you haven't healed yourself yet." You know, it's funny, until this relationship thing came, I thought I was pretty well grounded and pretty well complacent, at least, and satisfied with my life the way it was going. Oh yes, of course, there's always been the longing ultimately for a connection, but I honestly thought she was going to come walking off of a mothership sometime from the Pleiades, and she's not here on Earth. And some people say that the twin flame is never here on Earth with you. One stays in the other realm, and one is on the planet. So that's maybe not too far-fetched of having her walk off of a mothership. But in any case, I had thought I met my twin flame. I really did. And one of the most difficult things for me to come to grips with yesterday and last evening and throughout the night as I kept waking up, the bridge washing out, was, my goodness, my intuition, all of my senses seemed to be lying to me. I mean, I totally misread everything. And if there was ever a case of projection, which I know I do, I always, in every relationship, I project my dream onto that woman. I do it all the time. It's a pattern, and I don't know that I even want to change it. I really don't know that I do. Although I'm told that that scares the hell out of women. But some women don't admit that they're afraid, at least not directly, because that would be a sign of weakness. And I understand that. I do get that we want to put forth our best foot, our best image, our most positive definition of who we are. We want to do that. We all do. I do too. That's not unnatural. It's not something that just, bad people do. It's something that everybody does. We all want to put forth our best face, if you will, in 3 dimensions. The ego does that. That's part of the human experience. And one of the things that I've had to come to grips with, and one of the things that I'm doing with these videos, is I'm telling the truth, whether it's positive or negative. Whatever state I'm in, I tell the truth. And some people say, well, that's not good. That's not good. You're hurting people by doing that. No, that may be your perception, maybe the perception of a lot of people, but I don't see it that way. I see what I'm doing as showing people the journey by being honest and vulnerable and putting it out there, even things that I'm not proud of, which if you've listened, you know that I've done that more than once. Put out things that I've done that aren't that don't put me in a very good light. And that's okay. That's okay, because what I'm conveying to you and what Spirit put on my heart from the very beginning of doing these daily videos was to tell the truth of the journey. Now again, like I said yesterday, this whole thing is more than about any individuals. It's not about any particular person, not even about me. Even though I'm the one that's telling the story, I'm the one that's relating the experiences. It's transpersonal. It's bigger than any one of us. And that's what I think the man who posted that piece, he said, my dream is to find reasons to agree, find areas of commonality. Yes, that's beautiful. That is absolutely what we all need to do, find areas of commonality. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we agree with something that we don't agree with. We each have to stand in our own truth. Women and men each have to stand there. And I honestly do not believe that we're going to heal this planet until the battle or the rivalry of the sexes ends. I don't believe we will. It's important. And everything that I've learned in the workshop is about accepting people where they are. Accept what is and create with it. That's exactly what I'm doing with these videos. I'm accepting what is and I'm creating with it by telling the story. Now, one of the things that we teach in the workshop is if you've got a story that keeps hurting you, get a new story. I told that a while back about the little soul. The little soul that wanted to know light. And God says, but you are light. But I want to know light. Well, the only way you can know light is by experiencing the absence of light. And then you can know light again for the first time. And this is the human journey. This is the human drama. And yes, it is a drama. Yes, it is a play. Yes, it is role. Yes, they are roles that we are each playing. And it's transpersonal. It's archetypal reality being manifested in an actual play here on earth. And there is a divine purpose. There is meaning. I believe that with all of my heart. And spirit, when we get in tight places where the bridge is washed out and it looks like everything we thought was going to happen isn't going to happen the way we thought, and spirit whispers in our ear, you can still fly. And the masculine can say to the feminine, I'll teach you how to fly. Maybe you weren't ready then, but maybe you are now. Because we're all changing. We're all transforming. We're all becoming more than we thought we could ever be. And love is the only way. As in the movie Lighthouse Hill, love is like flying. Namaste.